And welcome back. Well, today is May the 12th, and it is the last day of National Nurses Week. And whether it's a national emergency or routine daily care, nurses' vital contributions impact the health and well-being of our communities. BronxNet is celebrating National Nurses Month throughout the month of May by introducing you to nurses from the Visiting Nurse Service of New York who serve the community in different ways. VNSNY has programs assisting individuals with severe mental health conditions. And here to share a little bit more is Nurse Practitioner at VNSNY Bronx ACT Team, Andrea Abramoff. And Andrea, good to have you here on Open.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So happy Nurses Month, Nurses Week. We're glad to have you and to be able to share a little bit about the work that you do. And I know that you work particularly in the area of mental health. Talk about your work as a nurse in the field of mental health.
Sure. I work for the VNSNY Bronx ACT Team, and ACT stands for Assertive Community Treatment. What we provide is really true wraparound care for the most severely mentally ill in the community, people with very unstable lives, and we try to provide a measure of stability. We have a team of comprised of a nurse practitioner, psychiatrist, family therapist, social work, substance abuse therapist, vocational therapist. I hope I'm not missing anybody, but we see our patients 6 times a month and make sure that they really connect to the care that'll improve their recovery.
Yeah. And talk about caring for your patients. Obviously, all of us have been hampered by the COVID-19 pandemic. What has it been like for you really trying to navigate the season of COVID-19 and being able to provide care for your patients?
That's a great question. It's been quite a year, as I'm sure everybody realizes. But for us, we were out there the whole time, especially the nurses on our staff had to be out there pretty much every day providing hands-on care. And at the beginning, it was about getting enough PPE and then figuring out how to do things safely. But our patients still needed to get their medications and their injections and see us because a lot of other services weren't running. And, at times like that, the need really went up for what we do.
Did you find that things got a little bit harder for you, particularly because of COVID-19? Many people dealing with isolation, people also dealing with depression. And if you're dealing with mental health issues, obviously, these are things that can be further exacerbated, particularly during a pandemic.
100%. Yeah, I think it was in a particularly challenging time for us. We had a period at the beginning of the pandemic where the hospitals weren't really accepting psychiatric patients. So we were dealing with patients that were at a much higher level of acuity in the community as the hospitals were transitioning to COVID treatments. Much of our care went telehealth, like for everybody. And that was a challenge because not all of our clients had access to stable internet and telephones. And so a lot of it was providing phones out to people and teaching them how to use technology to connect with us. We really had to stay flexible. I mean, the ACT team is designed to be flexible, but we've never quite had to be this flexible before in how we provide the care. So we learned a lot for sure.
Talk to me a little bit about being a nurse. And obviously we're celebrating National Nurses Month and also Week. But what does it mean to be a nurse for you? I mean, obviously working in the field, you can take things day to day, but for somebody who doesn't know about the day-to-day work, what does it mean to be a nurse and what would you want people to know?
I love being a nurse. I'll just start there. I think it was probably the best decision of my life. I recommend all the young people in my life to go into nursing. But it's because if you care about people and you care about making a difference in people's lives, you go out there and you meet the people that you're caring for, you get to know them, their families, and you get to see the difference you make. And for me, that's been the most rewarding. And I would say the pandemic has certainly, I think, made most nurses sort of reflect on, why they do the work they do and what it means. We certainly lost many colleagues in healthcare this year. It's really been devastating. And, I'm just so proud of my nurse colleagues that, choose to get out there every day and continue to provide the care that's needed in the community to make a difference in people's lives.
Yeah. What has been the biggest challenge for you? Because obviously a lot to contend with throughout the course of this past year. What has been the biggest challenge?
Um, I think the biggest direct challenge is just the transition to not being able to be out there as freely and transporting around the city as carefree as we used to. You know, a lot of things we took for granted about having places to do our work. Like we work in the field, so we work remotely. We have to stop and check computers and write notes and stuff in between visits sometimes. And in the logistics of, you know, there's no Starbucks to drop in. I think we really had to plan our work quite differently than we ever had before, and create a sense of team without seeing each other for a year. You know, we met on Zoom almost daily, but we did, you know, figuring out new ways to be a team when we don't get to see each other has been hard.
Yeah, and now that things have eased up a little bit, and you know we're seeing a lot more openings and progressive openings. Obviously, a little bit more intense on the work side. Talk to us about what that's like now that you have the ability to see patients a little bit more in that contact.
Yeah, it's really a breath of fresh air. I mean, I think we're just also happy about being able to get the vaccine. VNS was able to get the vaccine out to a lot of people really quickly, especially the workforce. So that just the reduction of the fear of getting infected by COVID has really allowed us to get back to normal in a really positive way, and appreciate how, you know, how much we can do for people in normal times has been really a blessing.
Yeah. How much of that is a conversation piece, the vaccine, and talking about vaccination between your patients and whether or not they want to get the vaccine or are they vaccinated? How much of that is a regular conversation piece of the work that you're doing?
Every visit, every visit. Yeah, I mean, and yeah, as long as somebody hasn't been vaccinated yet, it's all about, you know, can we help you get to get the vaccine? Can we talk to you about what's making you fearful about it? Where are you hesitant about it? What more information can we provide? I think that part of the severity of the mental illness and the instability and the lack of access to internet or regular communication that our patients are facing, it takes a very individualized approach to identifying what somebody's barriers are or concerns are, and addressing them, you know, respectfully and in a way that's productive to keeping them safe. And, you know, even if the vaccine's not for somebody, it's always a conversation about how to keep yourself safe.
Are you encountering a lot of hesitancy and or pushback about the vaccine in the conversations that you're having?
Yeah, I think our patient population kind of percentage wise probably matches the country in terms of, you know, there's maybe about half the people are just not sure that they're willing to take it. You know, there's a good strong percentage of people that are very excited to get it and want to get it at their first opportunity. And then there's many people that, you know, have a lot of fear. I mean, COVID is a really scary thing, and I think everything around it can feel very scary for people. So just, you know, kind of pacing with where they're at, meeting them where they're at. And, you know, I feel very strongly in vaccinations, and it's really, I believe, our best approach out of this. But, you know, I also respect that not everybody is, you know, sees it that way.
Yeah, you have better boots on the ground than I do, and I'll ask the question about, you know, when we talked to a couple of people about vaccine hesitancy, they said, listen, once the Johnson & Johnson had that kind of pause, that put the pause on their whole vaccination, you know, looking to get the vaccination. Have you kind of got that same experience out in the field as well?
Yeah, we have. I think that I certainly have heard that, you know, it's hard, you know, and the media really latches on it. There's one death, you know, there's one person that has a fatal blood clot, and not to say that that's not incredibly serious. And I do believe the pause was the right thing to do to figure out what it meant, and for the scientists to kind of catch up on knowing how to advise people how to move forward. I think it is such a scary outcome that, you know, people, you know, say, well, you know, I'm okay without it right now. Maybe I shouldn't sign up for that. But when you look at the bigger pictures of, you know, losing millions of infections across the country, and what that can mean, it's too bad, but it was the right science to put the pause on it. And I hope that people will still be able to find comfort that, you know, that's an extraordinary low percentage of people that have had that happen.
Absolutely. Well, we want to thank you, Andrea Abramoff, for being with us. Congratulations on National Nurses Week, and Nurse Month. And thank you for sharing and the great work that you're doing to improve our community. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
All righty. Well, I want to let you know now, if you want more information, don't hesitate to go ahead and visit the website. How do you do that? Well, you go to the website, VNSNY.org. If you want to pick up your phone and call, you can do that at 212-609-1525. We encourage you, don't go anywhere. We do have more Open coming up. Open returns right after this.